Hey friends, it's Rachel. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another writing vlog. So I'm going to just quickly update you guys on what I'm doing, what's been going on. So today is April 23rd. It's a Saturday. I have not been participating in Camp Dano because I just decided I didn't want to do that. I wasn't going to be ready to write my next book in time to participate. So I was just going to take the time to outline my next book. Originally, I was going to edit the book I just finished, which was my 11th Victorian mystery, but I realized that there were a few things in that I left out that I would have to go back in and re-add, and I didn't really want to do that right now because I figured it would take longer than I would like. So I just put that to the side, which is something I normally don't like doing because it feels like I'm never going to come back to it again. And so I just decided to start outlining my book. Now, this book is the very first book that I ever wrote. I first came up with the idea for this book when I was like 5, and I've been writing this book for 12 years. It's a very long time. It's about time to finish this book and get it ready to where I could be happy publishing it, but not quite there yet. Hopefully this next rewrite will be the one, but we'll see. I find myself in a very unique position with this book. It's in this binder here, as you can see, and ordinarily when I rewrite a book, I rewrite the whole thing. I go back through and I completely redo it and I work out all of the plot holes and things like that, but this last version of this book isn't terrible and it doesn't need as much work as it did in the past. So now I'm in this weird position where there's a lot in this draft, in this binder, that's actually really good and then I need to keep. I don't want to lose the good parts, but I need to fix the parts that are not so good. So I'm like, do I read through the previous draft, read through this whole binder, and then pick it apart and include the things in the new draft? I don't really want to read this book again. So what I decided to do was skim, and I will reference this draft heavily as I rewrite. I feel like a lot of people do this all the time, like they just edit the draft that they just wrote instead of rewriting the whole thing entirely, but not me. Like, I've never done this before, so this is a weird position to find myself, especially thinking that most people probably do it this way, but we'll see what happens. I think it's gonna work really good. I'm almost done with the outlining. I only have a few more chapters to go through, so hopefully I'll be able to finish that today. It's absolutely beautiful outside today. I have the windows open. It's been so cold here for so long. It's almost the end of April and it still is nasty outside so often, and then we have today is really nice, yesterday was really nice, so I'm really happy about that. I went to a used book sale earlier today and I didn't find anything, big surprise. I usually never find anything at used book sales, but it wasn't much of a book sale if I'm honest. There were like 4 tables. That's not a lot, so didn't find anything there. I'm in a bit of a reading slump ever since I finished The Name of the Wind. That was so long, it took me forever, and then I read Fatal Crossing, which I didn't like as well, and then I ended up DNFing 2 books in a row, so that really put me in a reading slump. I have not read as much this month as I would like, so I'm just going back to rereads. I'm rereading The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. I believe I really liked it, so it's a reread for me, and I probably will finish that book today as well. So that's the plan, get the outlining done, and go from there. Hello, it is now Monday the 25th, and I still have not gotten any writing done, but I finished my outline, so technically I could start writing any time that I wanted, but I haven't done that yet because I'm still doing research, and as crazy as that sounds, I'm doing research on a historical event for a fantasy novel. So currently I am watching Ken Burns' documentary on the Vietnam War because it plays a role in my book, even though it's probably not a super big role, but it still plays a role. And I realized that of the wars of the 20th century, I really didn't know that much about Vietnam. In fact, I knew basically nothing. And I think the only other 20th century war that I know the least about, other than the Vietnam War, is Korea. I don't know much about Korea at all. I think they call it the Forgotten War, and that's probably part of why they call it that, because I don't know much about it. So I personally love both fantasy and history very, very much. I don't like to mix the two, either in books that I read or books that I write, but for this particular book, I have to make an exception simply because of the way the world is set up. There's just no way around this, and I don't really mind it because it does make sense. So that's where I'm at with that right now. I will start writing the book as soon as I feel comfortable doing so, as soon as I feel like I've done enough research on the Vietnam War to implement it appropriately within the book, because I have a character in the story who was in Vietnam and fought in the war, and so I'm watching this to try to get a feel for how that would affect him, the experiences that he would have gone through, and how that would change somebody. And also any specific examples of things that may have happened in the war. Like, I don't want to include exactly specific examples, but you might be able to get inspiration from it or something like that. But it's mostly just getting a feel for what happened and how it would impact somebody who lived through that. So that's why I'm doing that. And also why I haven't started writing anything yet. I did start reading The Ranger of Marzana, and I'm actually kind of worried because this book has a really low overall rating on Goodreads, and I'm not really sure why. I'm 100 pages in, and it's not bad. So I don't know why people didn't seem to like it, but again, only 100 pages in and it's over 400 pages long, so there's plenty of room for things to go wrong, but so far it's okay. I'm still in a reading slump very much. It's kind of a bad one. I don't usually, well, it's bad for me anyway. I don't usually get into reading slumps at all. I did get into one like this last year, I think, after I finished reading a particular book that took me forever to read. So that's why I think I'm in one now. The Name of the Wind just took me so long to read that I don't have a lot of motivation to read right now, especially longer books, and I'm reading mostly fantasy right now, and there's a lot of fantasy that just takes a long time to read. So The Ranger of Marzana is an epic fantasy, so I do expect it to be a bit slower paced. I do like that there's multiple different characters, so we're not just stuck with one character. I think that helps a lot. But I think if I can get some fantasy that's quicker paced, then it will definitely help me get out of this reading slump. But the only way to really get out of it is to just push through it, and I do want out of it, so that's what's happened since my last update. I have a meeting to go to for work tomorrow morning, abysmally early. Why did they make it so early? I don't know, so I'm going to do that. And then I don't think I'll start writing tomorrow, but we'll see. I might. And then later on this week, I kind of want to do something, go someplace for my birthday, but I don't know what day that will be yet because I don't know what the weather's going to do. I want it to be kind of nice, and it doesn't really look like it will be nice on my actual birthday, of course. It never is. It's one of the things about being born in April. I hate spring in general because it doesn't know what it wants to do. It's never as nice as it should be, but hopefully we're slowly moving past that. If I don't have to wear a coat anymore, that would be a plus. I'm just not going to do that. Just get us out of winter. I want warmth. But anyway, I'm excited about that. So hopefully I will have started writing by then. I probably could anyway, even if I don't feel confident in my amount of research into the war at this point, because that doesn't come in right away in the story, so I have room to work with until I reach that point, but we'll see what happens. I definitely will start writing, I think, by the end of the week. I have this weird thing where I want to start writing a new project on the first of the month, which is really dumb because I don't need to do that. It doesn't need to be the first of the month. I have an outline. It doesn't matter when I start, I'll be okay, but there's something about the first of the month and starting then that makes me feel more motivated somehow. I don't know, but we'll get there, we'll get it done. Hello, I am back from my meeting that was abysmally early in the morning. I don't think I'm going to start writing today because I just don't think I have time to get enough done. And also I still did not get to the part in the documentary where I thought that I needed to be. I wanted to get to the part where I was gonna say average Americans started entering the war. I mean, we do have average soldiers entering the war at this point in the documentary, but they were already in the army, they'd already enlisted in the military, and at some point you have people get drafted. People who were not in the military told you have to go whether you want to go or not. And I think the ones that were already in the military, even if they didn't want to go, they kind of knew that this was coming. And the draft, I think, is really kind of what made people pretty mad, and I don't blame them for that. So because my character in the book is one of the ones that gets drafted and is sent that way, I wanted to get to that part in the documentary, but we're not there yet. But again, I don't think it really matters, so maybe I'll try to start tomorrow. I think that should work out, but we'll see what happens. I do want to say though that I am very grateful to libraries because that's where I was able to get this. I bought it off of Amazon initially, and then when I went to watch it on my TV, my Roku stick was like, sorry, can't do that. You can't watch anything on Amazon until you upgrade to a newer Roku stick. And I was like, okay, since when? So I got a refund, and then I was like, well, I'll just see if I can get it from the library, and I could, and really I should have just done that in the first place, but I've never checked out a movie or movie type thing from the library. It was always just books, so I'm grateful for that. The problem is that you don't get to check out movies as long as you do books, so I don't have this for as long as I do books, and so I've got to go through all 10 discs. I think there's 10 discs. Yeah, 10 discs. I gotta go through all 10 discs fast, like in a week. I do have one renewal, so I'm gonna have to utilize that because I can't watch 10 discs in 7 days. That's just too much at once, and you know, it's not exactly a cheerful subject, but it is interesting. I'm definitely learning a lot about this war that I knew nothing about. Hello! It is, once again, another day, and once again I have no writing done as of yet. Today was just a very chaotic day, and I didn't really have time to do it. And then tomorrow I'm going to go book shopping for my birthday and just, you know, go out, spend time with family, have a nice time. So I probably won't get any writing done then either, but I'm thinking Friday is going to be the day. Not only will that allow me to watch a few more episodes for research purposes, but Friday I just have a good feeling about. I don't think it should be too crazy, so I'm just going to write chapter 1 on Friday. I think sometimes getting started is the hardest part. If I can just make myself do it, then I'll be good and I won't lose that momentum, but actually getting the ball rolling is probably the hardest part. So I'm thinking about maybe making the birthday part a separate vlog, so we'll see. If that's the case, then I will just film a little outro here and now. So this really wasn't so much of a writing vlog as it was a preparation vlog, but I hope it was still enjoyable all of the same. I feel like I'm still learning how to do writing vlogs, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. I appreciate each and every one of you, and Crinkles and I will see you in the next video. Bye!